Hey, welcome to the BourbonQ channel. I'm glad you decided to stop by. I hope you have fun here and that you learn something. I've come up with some good stuff that I'd like to be able to share. You might ask about the BourbonQ and just what that's all about. And that's, yeah, most of my recipes include bourbon. So here's to you, here's to me, and God, here's to good smoke. So this is my injection. It's my special BourbonQ injection. It's a injection that I make up. It's 1/3 of this is bourbon, actually, along with beef broth and some other ingredients that I add into this for my flavor. Love this injector. But I'm on the last one right now. So this is my brisket that I am injecting. And I already did most of this. And I learned, I tried something new today that I'll show you here in a second. So that is done. This is my rub, my magic beef dust. And it sits in the cabinet. I make up a large amount. And I usually use a shaker, but it had lumps in it. And I was thinking I'd just use the flour sifter to clean it up. And I started thinking about it, and watch this. Talk about spreading your rub nicely. Wow, that didn't work. Don't try that at home. Way too heavy on the seasoning. Stick to your shaker. I think I just found a new way that I'm doing my rubs. All right, tri-tip. It's ready to go on the smoker. Another brisket and another 6 tri-tips. All ready to go. The smoker is seasoning right now. And as soon as it's done seasoning, we'll go out and we'll put these on the smoker. Looks like I got my 6 tri-tip roasts on there. And 2 briskets. Which is pretty nice. This is the initial try on this smoker. Oh, those look beautiful. We'll check our temps here. We're supposed to be 145 on the tri-tip. We'll get these all pulled off. Briskets will stay. We'll check our brisket temperature right here. Yeah, it's still real tough on that one. It seems the bottom rack is a lot faster, so we'll pull this one in a few minutes, and we'll cut the point off when we get into the house. Here's 4 of our tri-tips after a little fiasco. Dagnabbit, fiascos happen. Dogs are going to be happy. But we'll let these stand for 30 minutes before I slice them. And we've got some beautiful brisket right there. Now it's time. What I do at this time, we've reached 165 degrees. I will cut off the point to make my burnt ends, and we're going to wrap this brisket. I've got a new process for doing it that I'm going to try. So I've got 2 briskets here. I'm only going to do one of them, show you the process for this. You'll notice that I've got it on racks. When your brisket gets to where it's done, the racks help it maintain its shape. Plus, I'm going to put this in a pan to wrap it, and this will elevate it up above my apple juice and bourbon concoction that'll go in here when this steams to take this from the 165 up to 203 degrees. So when I smoke it, tip up, get it to the 165, and then I find that fat line. And you can cut the point off prior to, but in my experimenting, I've been finding that I like cutting this off after. It makes it a little bit easier to find that and work that. And then you take that flap to the point off, just like that. I love these hotel pans. I used to do this with disposable aluminum pans, but this works so much better. Now, these new hotel lids that I bought don't have a spoon slot, so they actually seal. And now this is ready to go back out. I'll set a probe in it, and we'll shoot for 165. Before we do that, I'm going to take my, oh, this has to go out there as well. This is what will become my burnt ends. Slice it into about 1-inch cubes. This one will not get covered. Ah, look at that bark and that smoke ring on there. This is going to be good brisket. Okay, we take our burnt ends. Where's the pan? Right here. This will be just fine for what I'm doing with this. So this is the point. I'll do the same thing with that one. It'll go in this pan as well. But the next step with this is my barbecue sauce. And I will, oops, sorry. Thank you, Madison. How is it? Is it good stuff? Nova! Nova, what do you think? Is this good stuff? Can you tell me? Can you sit? Nova, sit. Sit like a good little taste tester. And there you go. That's it. So then this is my BourbonQ sauce. It's a bourbon and molasses barbecue sauce that I make. No, I'm not giving you the recipe. You can experiment and find out the way. I'll just give you process, but I'm not giving my recipes away. And then I put this back in the smoker along with the brisket and let this kind of candy is what this is going to do. We've let this tri-tip stand. We actually let it stand for a little over an hour, which just doesn't hurt anything because of what I'm doing. I want to cut this across the grain. And you can locate, I hear people talking about making a knife cut so you can see where your cross grain is, but I mean, I see the grain throughout here. And what I will do, I will cut this so you can take a look at how that turned out. The smoke ring right there around it. And this is a done to a medium on tri-tip. Too many people turn this into pot roast. 140, 145 degrees is where you want to be, and it's perfect. And what I end up doing with this is I use my meat slicer, and I run it through and cut it about 1/8 inch, 3/16 inch slices. And this makes just some of the best sandwiches. You can put this on top of your salads. You can snack on it. I mean, it's phenomenal. It really is. You want to taste it? You can give everyone a... Okay, how is it?
It's really good.
Madison, Nova? Madison? Watch this. Good girl. How is that? There you go. How is that? Can you smile for the camera? Can you? Oh, the tail wag does it. I think that is a 17 wag tri-tip roast, by golly. Don't think it gets better than that, does it? No, 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 no. Okay, first brisket is done. We've reached 203 degrees. As I said, I make stuff up as I go, and that's how I've created my recipes and studied out the processes. But my first video, my first attempt at this, and I need to let you guys know, brisket, the temperature is not necessarily a good judge of the doneness of your brisket. It is your best judge is the way your probe goes in. How soft is it? How gentle is it? A 2-degree difference or an extra 20 minutes in your smoker, once you've reached the perfect point of doneness, will turn your brisket into pot roast. There's a very fine line there that you want to watch. But 203 degrees is a good judging area. But you definitely want to make sure that your probe is just easily going in. There's no resistance, and you'll find that line. And it's just a matter of experimentation. It's looking gorgeous. A nice bark. Close that to keep the steam in there, and then I wrap it in a moving blanket to let it sit for till tomorrow morning. Actually, I'm going to let this rest till tomorrow morning. I like letting it sit for 8 hours before I slice it. Second one will be done in probably 45 minutes. And I'll stack it there, and I'll have them both wrapped with my moving blanket. And burnt ends should be done about the same time, and then we'll go forward from there. Okay, so 2 pans of brisket now are wrapped inside my moving blanket. And right here, lo and behold, this is burnt ends. People talk about having burnt ends out of other things, but the only way to make burnt ends, wow, hot. Don't know why, it just came out of the smoker, but look at this. This right here. This is meat candy. Okay, and here it is. We've got our brisket. I wrapped it and let it rest overnight. When you're cooking, anytime you're heating meat, while it is heating, it expresses juices. The juices leave. I mean, that's why your meat will shrink while you're cooking it. The same thing goes steaks, if you're grilling them or any way that you're cooking them. But now let's get a little light. There we go. Better. The steaks, I mean, you want to let those things set for 5 minutes. Let them reabsorb some of the juices, and they come back together, and it really does a lot for the flavor profile on your steak. Brisket, yeah, you wrap this after you've reached your temp. If you wrap this, minimum of 4 hours to let it set. This is what you come out with. So we'll cut through here. Once again, across the grain. And there you can see our smoke ring. You can see there's a nice bark on this. Look at that bark. Now, one thing when you when you do what's called the Texas crutch, that's where your brisket will stall at 165 degrees. It tends to stall. You wrap it, and it keeps going. Your crust does not get as hard as it does if you don't wrap it, but the crust is still there. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, my head at times. So if you are talking with barbecue people and you don't want them to laugh you out of their barbecue pit, it's bark, not crust. Bark. And if you take a look at this, we're talking about the tug. This should just easily come apart, not fall apart. There is a difference. If you overcook this, you got pot roast. Okay. Wow. Some good brisket. Now, isn't that a beautiful thing? So, hope y'all got something out of this. Enjoy. Yeah, can't do this without our taste testers, can we? Madison, Noah? Are my taste testers ready? Okay, Madison, tell us, what do you think? Nova, what do you think? Is it good stuff? Oh, it was tail wagging good stuff. Good deal, you guys. Okay, enjoy everybody, and don't forget, smoke them if you got them.